So this is the chainstay fixture, something that my business partner Tony made about, I don't know, 15 years ago, quite a while ago. We've been using it for a long time. We set it at the rough length of the chainstays, measured horizontally, so that when we cut it, the blade in relation to the fixture is in the right place. So basically the way this works is we'll mount the dropouts on the dummy axle. So essentially what we're going to do is we'll miter the dropout end so that it fits on there. We'll weld it, and then when we have the dropouts welded on, we'll miter the bottom bracket end. So now we'll go to the welding area and we'll prep these tips and these dropouts for welding. Get them welded on, and then we can miter the bottom bracket. So let's go over here to the welding area. Easy. So I've prepared the tips and cleaned them thoroughly inside and out. Cleaning is the key to, really is the biggest key to a good clean weld. The dropouts have been cleaned as well. So I'm going to load the fixture here, get everything set up to weld, and then weld them so that we can go back to the machine and miter the bottom bracket. So here's the completed weld, and the fixture determined the relationship between the dropout and the chainstay, so it should be aligned nearly perfectly. We'll do a final H tool on it at the end to make sure the dropout faces are parallel. Just smooth, even bead spacing. This is probably one of the more difficult welds actually to get to look good because of the thickness difference between the dropout and the chainstay and the small radius of the weld itself. So now let's take the fixture and the stays to the miter station and miter the bottom bracket end. So now what we're going to do is we're going to load up the fixture, put the fixture in the machine, run the cutter through it, and cut the bottom bracket end of the chainstay. Okay, so there's the chainstays. They're all ready to go. We'll pop them out of the fixture here. Put them in the box with all the other completed tubes. We're getting close. We have the seat stays still to miter, and once those are done, we can actually get to the really fun part, which is putting this thing in the fixture. I like that the best because it starts to look like a bike at that point, and you really feel like you're making some progress. And then of course welding is the cake part of the whole job. That's what all us welders live for, is all those nice tight miters ready to weld together. So the next thing I'm going to do is trim these seat stays. We'll load them into the seat stay fixture and we'll get them mitered. So the seat stays are ready to go. The machine is set up, so we'll take them over there right now and we'll cut them, get them ready to make a bike out of them. So here's the vertical mill that I miter the seat stays on. Okay, so here we go. The cut is done. Okay, so there we go. We'll take the seat stays out of the fixture, put them with the rest of the tubes, and then we'll take that all over to the welding station where we'll trowel fit everything into the fixture, make sure it all fits well, and it should look like a bike. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the tubes that have been cleaned and prepared for welding, we're going to load them into the fixture, we're going to tack it, and we're going to start welding. Okay, so now we got the front triangle tacked, so I'm going to put it on the alignment plate. We're going to check its initial alignment. What we'll be doing when we weld it is we'll be controlling its alignment through welding sequence. So we want to make sure it's in the starting point that we know so we can predict its behavior throughout the welding process. So we'll put it on the plate. So we're going to check two critical dimensions. One is going to be offset the distance off the centerline plane that the head tube sits, and then twist its twist. I know which direction it's going to move while I weld it, so I want to make sure that it starts in the right location so that it goes to the place I plan for it to be. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check the head tube to make sure it's on the centerline plane and make sure that there's no twist. This checks our centerline plane, and then this checks our twist. I do look for a small amount of twist because I know I'll be taking it out through the welding sequence. So I know this is ready to go now, so I can start welding it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the frame over to the stand where I'll be welding it, and throughout the welding process I'll be bringing it to the plate to make sure that it's maintaining alignment. Okay, so here is a completed TIG weld, the head tube, down tube, and then the bottom bracket joint, which is a little bit more complicated. Ready to go. Okay, so now we know we've got the front triangle aligned to near perfection, and we'll take that a little bit farther along down the road. But what I'm going to do now is load this front triangle back up, and then we'll start cleaning and preparing the chainstays and seat stays. We'll load them into the fixture and then tack and weld them too.